Here begins the tale of a man, heartbroken by a toxic relationship with a manipulative ex-girlfriend. He saw her not as the woman he loved but as a monster, her charm replaced by rotten teeth, her sweetness by a satanic cat's hiss, her passion by a vampire's thirst. In his despair, he turned to the Bible, hoping to find solace. He stumbled upon the concept of the Jezebel spirit, a symbol of narcissism and infidelity, and he saw his ex-girlfriend reflected in the ancient texts. In the throes of his ex-lover's tormented soul, he turned to an Orthodox priest for help. The priest, showing remarkable intuition about the man's personal struggles, did not suggest an exorcism as expected. He recommended another path instead. The man, yearning for a miracle to free his former love from the demonic possession, agreed to the unconventional advice. He was introduced to a woman, divinely handpicked by Holy Mary herself, who was destined to bring tranquility into his life. Despite the priest's unconventional wisdom, the man found himself struggling to reconcile with the teachings of the Bible. His faith seemed shallow, driven by his desperation for a miracle, rather than a deep-seated bond with God. When heartbreak found him for the second time, he turned to tarot readers. They accurately predicted events in the boy's life and provided him with the comfort he needed. They showed him empathy he hadn't found in the Bible's text. But in the eyes of his Orthodox faith, the tarot was tainted, often associated with demonic influences. Their practices contradicted the Orthodox values he had been taught. He found himself questioning religious beliefs. Why did everything have to revolve around Jesus Christ? Why was there only one path to heaven? He found himself engulfed in a sea of doubts swirling around his Orthodox faith. The tarot readings he had been so fascinated by seemed to contradict the doctrines of his religion. He questioned why consensual sex before marriage was a sin in his faith, and why people were painted as lost sheep in desperate need of redemption. The necessity of relentless adoration for an omnipotent, omniscient God baffled him. During his second heartbreak, he confided in a girl about his turmoil, the conflict between his interest in tarot and his Orthodox faith. They explored the hidden corners of Hollywood, delving into its alleged satanic rituals, and films like The Sound of Freedom that illuminated these practices. He found himself drifting towards a new facet of spirituality, one that was in stark contrast with the teachings of his Orthodox faith. In his quest for answers, he came to understand that religious people had good values, but it was also important to think for oneself. He acknowledged the existence of a higher justice and Satan, leading him to identify as a deist. He realized that following religious doctrine strictly was not necessary for his personal faith. His journey led him to a profound realization. There must be a God, but not one confined by the boundaries of traditional religious teachings. His God was one who cherished balance and encouraged questioning. He understood that his faith was a personal journey, not a set of rules to be followed blindly. It was a realization that transformed his heartbreak into self-discovery, his questions into understanding.